of suffering, or I can show you.
The original Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor was a cult hit, but it had a few problems that kept it from being considered a true AAA game. The open world was quite small, the colour palette was rather samey, and you could murder a conga line of patrolling orcs without them noticing anything is up.
I think I can see the flaw in this formation.
Yeah. Why are we walking around in a line?
Like adorable baby ducks, only massive, green, and actually not at all adorable, scratch that metaphor. Upcoming sequel Shadow of War promises to fix the flaws from the first game and expand the Nemesis system to help it create even more involving stories on the battlefield. Even if you don't know your Boromirs from your Faramir's, this is definitely a game to keep your eye on. Please don't tell me Boromir and Faramir are the same dude. I'm gonna Google it. Okay, good. Here are 7 new things you can do in Middle-earth Shadow of War. No more poking around a couple of regions of gloomy Mordor. Shadow of War expands the open world area massively. While the majority of the game still takes place in Mordor, the war has expanded out into the Kingdom of Gondor, which simply won't do. One of the locations you'll be exploring is the human city of Minas Ithil, which has been transformed into Minas Morgul by the forces of darkness. And if you think those names are silly, bear in mind there's a place in Middle-earth called Wet Wang. While the gameplay shown so far is of a large-scale battle, the more measured pace of open-world gameplay as you build up your army and attack smaller strongholds is in there too. It'll all be worth it, as you don't want anywhere nice turning into another Mordor. There's a reason you don't just walk into it, you know. The big feature of Shadow of Mordor that set it apart from other games was the Nemesis system, which allowed certain recurring enemies to become a real pain in your ring. The Nemesis system now applies to friendly orcs you dominate and recruit for your own army. They have their own dating profile of likes and dislikes, and their own relationships with you and other orcs that will develop based on the course of the battles and how you deploy them within your army. It also now applies to troll characters, the Olog High, like this charming fellow. Oh, I think someone brought war already. Could you bring potato salad? We always need potato salad. You will want to keep guys like him happy though, because defections to the enemy are a distinct possibility now as well. This nasty piece of work used to be one of our trusted generals.
I fought for you, bled for you, and you left me to die.
Man, talk about holding a grudge. We're sorry, okay? Jeez. Obviously, the full extent of the Nemesis system is only revealed over the course of many hours of play, but it's already looking like it will create more interesting stories even during a single battle. Each region you're exploring is dominated by a fortress, and Shadows of War wants you to be participating in a cinematic Helm's Deep scale siege every few hours or so. These are the big fights you'll spend all your time preparing for, and it's entirely possible for trusted members of your army to be injured or even killed. You'll be facing off against enemies powered by the Nemesis system, and they'll have arranged defences based on their preferred style of combat.
He's a demon!
Capturing a fortress involves beating each of the individual war chiefs or captains stationed there, which will eventually gain you access to the throne room and the fortress overlord. Kick his mammoth behind and you'll claim the fortress as your own, and maybe do some redecorating. I'm thinking a giant gold statue, wait, hear me out, of me, Mike. Okay, fine. Then how about this? So, of course, what's the point of capturing a fortress if you can't move the furniture around a bit? Once you have a fortress, you can assign a member of your army to run the joint, and based on their tribe and their attributes, the fortress and its throne room will be redesigned in their image. The Marauder tribe, for example, is a gang of looters, so handing it to a member of that tribe, Rag Dug, will cover the entire thing in gold leaf and generate more income from the region. Of course, if you want to make the place look like a Halloween party at a fetish club, that is absolutely my prerogative. Your prerogative. Yours.
Did you really think you could kill me?
It's not all about just sending waves of expendable orcs to almost certain doom until one of them accidentally captures the fortress for you though. One of your new options is to deploy slightly less stupid members of your army as spies in enemy fortresses. They won't be immediately obvious as you rock up to the gate, but they'll reveal themselves during the course of the battle. If they're a sniper, for example, they can be pretty useful if you find yourself in a tight spot. I could have had him.
Nice shot.
They can also sabotage fortress defences, for example by planting explosives by the walls. Manage to find time to fire an arrow at the explosives and you'll create a huge hole in the battlements, allowing more of your army in. Spies won't be essential in fortress assaults, but you'll want to do everything you can to tip the odds in your favour when you head into battle. And short of an army of angry walking trees, this is your best bet.
You feel it, don't you? This is the power of the Dark Lord.
Monolith is promising far more in the way of role-playing elements this time around, really leaning into the RPG half of action RPG. That means the opportunity to pick up all sorts of cool-looking loot with more in the way of individual attributes and perks. That loot can be equipped immediately on the battlefield for an instant advantage. I mean, I'd have waited and given it a wash first. Did you see that guy? Ew. In this particular playthrough, because the troll in charge of Seragos Fortress is a bit of a pyromaniac, you'll come up against a mounted flamethrower. And how do you make a mounted flamethrower in Middle-earth? Well, by encasing a living, fire-breathing drake inside it, of course. I can't believe you even asked. Break him out and dominate him though, and you can fly around blasting fireballs from a safe distance, just like I imagine Tolkien always intended. Why does this feel like cheating? So there you go, those are 7 new things you can do in Shadow of Mordor 2, aka Shadow of War. Like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for much more on Shadow of War as we have it. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.